Hi, I'm Mike Boyajian, and I'm not going to talk about a specific book, but rather the group of general books that I'm writing about my life with my late wife, Jeri, various aspects, travels, experiences, our love together. And one of the interesting things that I've come across in my research for these books is one of Jeri's favorite works of art was Jan van Eyck's Arnolfini portrait. Okay, and that portrait is at the National Gallery in London. And we've been to London 4 or 5 times. And every time we went, we made a point to try and get to the gallery. And we got to the gallery. And every time we went there, the gallery that the Van Eyck was in, the Arnolfini, was closed. Okay, so anyhow, Jeri and I have been to Florence, and we were immersed in the birthplace of the Renaissance, and to the degree that we were fatigued from the overwhelming amount of Renaissance art being absorbed through our eyes into our minds, and to the point we had to retreat to the Boboli Gardens, which I talked about in an earlier video, which was one of the gardens that we'd been to around the world and that helped us to design our own garden in the Hudson Valley. But what I just learned was that Arnolfini, the Van Eyck and his brother, Jan Van Eyck and his brother, created prior to the Renaissance the technique of oil painting. And prior to that, they were using egg yolks and other things, and it dried fast, and it was not a very efficient way to, not as good as oil paints. Oil paints allow for texture and things like that. And what I learned was also that Leonardo da Vinci, one of the great Florentines, loved oil painting and was, a Renaissance person, and he adapted oil painting to all his works. And it's funny, but it was almost like a message from my late wife to me that I'd find this little notation in a book I'm reading on Florence. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but when we went to Florence, she was floating towards the baptistry and the Duomo, ahead of me, oblivious to my shouts to wait up, just absorbed in all the Renaissance architecture and atmosphere. And later, I told everyone about our friend Hoyt, who nicknamed the Met poster of the famous Botticelli Birth of Venus as the SS Venus, because it looked like it was floating on a boat. She was floating on a boat, which was that seashell. And then also in the Florentine book I'm reading now by Paul Srennan, he refers to the Venus as anatomically impossible, but because of that, has the appearance of floating. So there's a lot of floating going on. And anyhow, that's a little connection there from Jeri's favorite painting, the artist who painted it, and his connection to oil paints and to Leonardo da Vinci. And we did see the Mona Lisa. I have to tell you that at least the day we were there, it was very crowded, and it was behind plexiglass and a rope line, and I couldn't really see any of the masterwork of Leonardo. It was kind of like a big blur. You're better off looking at a picture of it. Anyhow, thanks for your time, and please enjoy my books. Thank you. Bye.